More on the options for aftermarket CarPlay in your car. This is MacVoices. Today's edition of MacVoices is supported by RocketMoney. Take full control of your subscriptions with RocketMoney at rocketmoney.com/MacVoices. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, this MacVoices live discussion wraps up with more conversation about adding CarPlay to your car or to anyone's car with these many aftermarket options, head units, and other devices. Let's go back and let the panel do the talking. Kelly, this is going to be a little controversial, but I'll do it anyway. Why do you want CarPlay?
Because it seems like it would be more convenient than trying to hassle with Bluetooth. Because every time in this car, every time I get a new phone, it hates the Bluetooth in the Subaru in a new and exciting way that I now get to learn how to route around. So
okay.
That's been the biggest problem is it won't connect, or it does connect. It does connect whether I've got the radio on or not. One was it would play for 10 seconds and quit. And so I would have to back out of the garage, let it play for 10 seconds, quit, turn off the radio, turn on the radio, put my right foot in, put my right foot out. And then eventually it would work. Like it was a whole thing. And so every time I get a new hunk of hardware and I'm like, okay, let's pair this to the Subaru and find out how much it's going to suck. And there's no updates or anything for it. Like I've called Subaru about it a couple of times and gone, why is this terrible? And they're just kind of like, it's Bluetooth, like.
I ask just because, especially on the less expensive ones, you're still going to have to plug something in. And I'm just wondering
which is fine because I plug my phone in to charge when I get in the car 90+% of the time anyway.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you if there's an option you would have that, wouldn't necessarily require a whole new head unit, but it sounds like there isn't. You don't have an input to that, to your device. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
there's wireless CarPlay. I don't know if those are third-party head units, and I don't know what that goes for.
It depends on which one you get. The third-party CarPlay head units, you can get them where it's wired or wired and wireless.
Okay.
And then when you look at that part, then look at, is it just Bluetooth, or is it using Bluetooth to set up an ad hoc network, and then it uses Wi-Fi so that you can stream higher quality audio files?
Oh, okay.
Also faster, bigger files.
Mm-hmm.
Web says newer head units have wireless CarPlay.
But the problem with going completely wireless, if you don't have a wireless charger as well, you'll find that, especially if you're doing things like using maps or Waze or something like that, your phone will very, very quickly run out of juice within an hour or two.
Yeah. Yeah. When I do use maps, that I always make sure that it's charging.
I've got CarPlay in my Soul, and I constantly have it connected directly. And it's charging the entire time. So when I get to wherever it is that I'm going, my phone is completely charged and ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where I have, my Dodge, I have a factory car head unit that's with CarPlay, and I've got the CarlinKit wireless device plugged into the USB port. And for the most part, it works good. There hasn't been any draining of the battery or any of that stuff, but it also does sometimes get flaky, with the software where doesn't connect. Sometimes I've had to unpair it and repair it to CarPlay before. So
yeah. Okay.
David, hang on. I'm looking because I'm not sure if CarPlay. I'm not sure if I've got the same thing. Yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
CarlinKit.
Yeah, the CarLink. Yeah, I've had mixed results with this, and the differentiating factor for me seems to be if I'm around a a populated area. That's if I'm around things that seem to be generating lots of different Wi-Fi networks or whatever, it'll jump away. But if I'm out on the road at 60 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour, it's rock solid. And it's so it's really frustrating, that it's so solid out there. But as soon as I get off a highway and turn into town, that I start having issues. So
okay,
it's one of those that it works great under some circumstances. And I admit it's been a little while since I've tried to pair it and repair it. In fact, come to think of it, I'm not sure I've done it with the new iPhone, so I should probably give that a shot. And for those of you folks who are in the chat room and listening, I'm throwing a link into the Garland CarlinKit. So
I guess it's CarlinKit.
I know what it is. Yeah.
CarlinKit. Yeah, the one I bought was an older one that was for the older, and then now they have a newer one. Looks like that it's only $72. It covers model years 2015 to 2022. Unfortunately, it doesn't cover yours, Kelly. But
the one I just threw in is 120. So,
but actually, it might with the head units you have.
So this takes CarPlay and makes it wireless. So you have to have CarPlay to start with.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I didn't anticipate a CarPlay discussion, but Kelly, the reason I ask is I wasn't sure what your particular use case is. I love CarPlay for the audio controls. I love CarPlay for the Siri integration. I love CarPlay for the large screen that I'm able to see, as opposed to having my iPhone on a mount. Because it gives you basically a second screen, which is really, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is it worth the money for you?
Yeah. Well,
Brian,
I think so, because I'm gonna have to. I have to live with this car forever, probably. So, it would really be nice if it even if I could just get better Bluetooth that sucked less. Like that would even also be very pleasing. So,
Brian in the chat room asks, so the CarPlay kit's transferable if you change vehicles?
Yeah.
The head unit. Yeah.
Depends
head units are, depending.
But you might have to get a different adapter harness.
Right.
And probably a different bezel piece to finish it.
Brittany, are you talking about how to hook your car stereo to your phone when your phone doesn't have the headphone jack?
Oh, I know how. I was just making a joke in the private chat about how unsophisticated my car stereo is.
Well, if you decide you want to change that,
I could get a dongle. I have such a terrible stereo. I'd rather just use AirPods. So,
well, I have the one out of my old car. So if you wanted it, I can give it to you because it doesn't do anything else at my house. I
use the 12 South Airfly Pro.
Oh, that's a good one.
And it works great. It's the first one. I went through several that were horrible. And I was like, why can't I pay some extra money and get a good one? And they do charge extra money, but it works really well. Huh?
They're 12 South.
Yeah.
You mean you had other broadcasting devices, Jim, and not the 12
I had tried them before, and they didn't. Right. They were crap.
They work great on.
I very much appreciate it. I appreciate it, Jim. Realistically, I would need a different car to enjoy the car stereo in my car. I need new speakers. I would need a car that had less road noise. I would need an awful lot of things. So AirPods, the transparent kind, so I can hear the road.
Put it in transparent mode.
Well, no, they're not pro. That's how you could still hear everything. So yeah.
Well,
and that's not technically legal either, at least in California.
Depends on the state.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not in California, so maybe they're okay, and I'm sure lots of people get away with it, but
I just use AR headsets while I'm driving.
That is the preferable, but you really want to see
Yeah, when you want the best resolution and graphics for when you're driving, AR headset all the way.
Only way to go.
Yeah.
Man.
By the way, we're kidding.
So
yes, please.
Do that.
Yes.
So Guy saw
Coming from Guy
twice this weekend, and he's all worked up about shiny new futuristic tech.
Kelly, Brad in the chat room put in a JVC model. He says is the only option under $1,000 with wireless CarPlay.
Thank you, Brad. I
So,
appreciate that.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. We're
We'll see
happy
what
to
happens.
help you spend.
Something I've wondered. I just looked up my car, so
Mhm.
I've got a. You know, Kelly, you think your car is old? I have a 2006 Prius.
Mhm. Oh, I don't think it's
but-
old. I just think it's been
Which
on the
It's
scene
been
for a
around.
very long time, and I was sort of
yeah, well,
hoping
that's.
I would get
how's
to
that
end my
different from old?
relationship with that
I'm
automobile.
going to
and
look
I
up
don't want to.
1972 Volkswagen Beetle. Hold on a second.
Well, so you know,
Guy, I'm pretty sure that doesn't come
Crutchfield
with
is-
CarPlay.
Crutchfield is showing a bunch of units that it says they're compatible with my car. What I'm not understanding is I'm assuming this would involve taking out the screen
yeah.
that's
Oh,
in it
absolutely.
now.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
But then how do all the things work that the car, like the air conditioning works?
You
You get the
too.
harness kit. There's a harness kit that comes. Actually, let me walk that back a little bit. There are certain cars that they recommend you don't change the stereo out of, and I don't know if
Mine
your
is-
car is one of
Mine
them.
is, I didn't want to do
Yeah,
mine.
the Dodge Charger, because I've actually looked at Dodge Chargers. They
Mhm.
recommend that you don't remove the head unit in that.
Too many extra
Too many
Right.
extra
So, Jim,
integrated things. Yeah.
As someone that has a Prius, what you're going to take out is the module that has the display in it, that computer box, and it has the buttons that run along the side. The
Right.
buttons for your AC and heater unit, which sit below, that's a separate unit. So when you pop out the display, the air conditioner controls that sit below, they don't go anywhere. So this will be a new piece that
What
sits
year
in
is
above
your
that.
Prius, Jeff?
Mine's a 13.
Okay, there are no buttons for the air conditioning. They are,
So,
They're
On
on the
the touchscreen.
screen.
yeah.
so
You go to climate and then
I didn't think
Can
they
it-
did that back then. I thought that was on the newer ones. Okay. Well, then
You probably
Then-
shouldn't
then
do
the
it.
harness
Well,
that
no.
you would buy from to go along
Crutchfield.
with your new head unit will have the right outputs so that whatever on-screen controls are there for controlling an AC unit
Mhm.
would still be there.
so there's some way to get the
Ins-
Toyota's video still show up on.
Depends.
what you should do is go feed. You said it was a 2006.
I did.
do you-
I put that in, and it's
No.
like
Did you,
No,
because
feed
they'll
it
also
to YouTube. Go to YouTube and type 2006 Prius
Well-
CarPlay, and somebody has dismantled it and showed you what to do and showed you what you get at the
True.
end, and you can
That's-
see this is what's up. This is what the PETA factor is. If none of those videos are under an hour, you may be in for some work, but you'll get
well,
an
what I would
idea
really
of
probably
what
do
you
is go
need
down to
do.
Beach Auto Sound and let them tell me.
have
Yeah.
them do it for you.
There's
that-
another
Which is
option
what I
for
said
you.
right at the beginning.
So there are
Yeah.
companies that make CarPlay units that attach in line, and so then the screen that you currently have stays in place, and then this adds like an extra display option to the screen you already have, and it's CarPlay in a box, and so then all of the controls that you already have that are built in stay. And CarPlay becomes an add-on to that.
Probably what I'm going to do is just, I've got it figured out to how I mount my phone, and that works pretty good.
Oh, there you go.
And
Or just get a
I can
newer
live with that
car.
for. Do what? Get a new car?
But not necessarily a brand new car.
Newer.
Yeah. I bought a 2-year-old Kia Soul that had
Well,
CarPlay, and it was great.
Just context, guy. I did buy this car new. I've only bought cars new. I've only had 3 cars in my life.
Okay. Well, then you're probably due.
I'm probably due, but
You're probably due. 16 years with a
Things are-
car. I think you've gotten your money's out of it.
the car before, the BMW I had before that, I had for 25 years. So
This edition of Mac Voices is supported by RocketMoney. Cancel unnecessary subscriptions today with RocketMoney at rocketmoney.com/MacVoices. Do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans think they spend around $80 a month on subscriptions, when the actual total is closer to $200. That's right, you could be wasting hundreds of dollars each month on subscriptions you don't even know about. There's an app that helps take care of that for you. It's called RocketMoney, formerly known as Truebill. The RocketMoney app shows all your subscriptions in one place and cancels what you don't want for you. RocketMoney can even find subscriptions you didn't know you were paying for. You may even find out that you've been double charged for a subscription. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and RocketMoney takes care of the rest. Cancel unnecessary subscriptions with RocketMoney today. Go to rocketmoney.com/MacVoices. Seriously, it could save you hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/MacVoices. Thanks to RocketMoney for supporting MacVoices.
So, Jim, the other thing about even if you yourself are not going to do it, the other thing about going and seeing what's involved on YouTube is that will also tell you, like, it will give you a ballpark of the expense, because a lot of times when you pay for a stereo installer, what you're paying for is the time. So if this is going to be a 2-day project, it's very different from a couple of hours. So that might be like another piece of helpful information. But if you find out, it's a pretty straightforward thing. If nothing else, you can just skip to the end and see what it looks like at the end. What is the experience of using the old car and the new radio? It will give you some idea, manage some expectations a little bit. So I haven't watched any of them yet, but I saw a bunch of results for putting CarPlay in the Subaru that I drive. And so I was able to see, well, I know it's possible, and I know people have done it. So it's just
there's a lot of Priuses out there. So, I'm guessing it's probably all figured out.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but it could also be one of those things where you have to be a complete lunatic to take on that kind of project yourself. So,
but there's enough out there that I'm guessing that somebody's done it. And, I don't know. Crutchfield was like, yep, here's all these models that work with your car. And here's the exact, you'll need these additional harnesses and stuff. So sounds like they're saying it works. I was just wondering, okay, but what about all the stuff that the car had on the screen? Funny story is, when the car was 38 months old, so 2 months out of warranty, the map stopped working, and this was before phones had maps. And so I took it to Toyota, and they're like, yeah, it's out of warranty. And it's $5,200 to fix it. And they at that time said you should go across the street to Beach Auto Sound and get a third party unit. And like, really? And actually, I went over there and talked to them, and the guy there was like, "That's crazy. I could sell you something, but you go back to Toyota and, tell them that's bull." And so I did. And it took like 6 weeks, and somebody from the factory actually came and looked at my car, but they wound up fixing it for $100.
Nice.
That's basically the same amount.
Be the last time I would deal with that. Wow.
Well, I think the factory had to decide. The problem was that and the thing was, it was giving an error saying DVD error, and so this is old enough, 2006, that all the maps were on a DVD, and that's in a unit that's under the driver's seat. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing that like a $5 laser in that DVD went bad, but it was all one unit that they had no way, or even if you replace the whole drive, even then DVD drives were $30, right? But they had no way to replace just that one thing. They could only replace this entire thing. The entire thing. So, and there wasn't anything the dealer could do about it. But, they went and, when I went back to them, they were like, yeah, that does seem kind of host. So they contacted Toyota, and after a while, Toyota was like, yeah, we'll. So Toyota gave a new unit to the dealer, and then the dealer charged me $96 labor or something like that to swap it in. That was the $100. And I'm like, fine, and it's worked ever since.
Hey,
well,
don't talk about it too much and jinx it.
Yeah. Although now I never use the map. I haven't used the map for like 10 years.
The maps on those DVDs are so out of date anyhow.
Yeah.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah.
Is look out for never mind. Never mind.
He can't get there.
I'm going to stop. Yeah. He couldn't get there.
Well,
because he's using an old map.
Guys gave the best advice right off the bat is, for this kind of car customization, go to somebody local, reputable that does it.
Oh yeah.
If you're serious about doing it, and unless you are experiencing this kind of thing, because otherwise, they're
not anymore.
They're all kind of little. Yeah, that's right. I used to do my own. It's like no more.
When I was younger,
don't find someone
out my
on
electrical
Fiverr.
system in my car.
Don't find someone on Fiverr. Go to somebody that knows what they're doing.
No. Yeah, go to Sevener.
Yeah.
Mostly I just wanted to see if anybody had third-party ones, because I don't hear a lot about them just in general, and I wanted to know if there
there's a lot of them out there.
There's a lot of them out there, as you can see just looking at Crutchfield. So
but just
but honestly, it's going to be kind of a dying market, because more and more car manufacturers are just going ahead and giving up on trying to create their own head units, because they suck at it, and they always have, and just going with Android Auto and CarPlay.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's ridiculously cheap to include both of them. So, why reinvent the wheel?
It's standard now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably within the next 5 years, you won't even, Crutchfield will basically go, okay, if you've got like some really old car, you can get one of these. But the manufacturers, it's the same kind of thing. You don't see people making brand new 8-track players because nobody's using 8-track anymore. And, the same thing is going to happen with a lot of this other stuff.
Yeah.
Is there's just not a market for it anymore. So they stop making the units.
That's why I take my 8-track player to Fred's Sound of Music in Southeast Portland and go get them to maintain it for me.
On that note, this has been Car Talk.
It was a fun conversation.
CarVoices live.
Yeah, well, it is a good conversation, because I'm sure there are a lot of folks out there who, CarPlay has only become a lot more popular in the last couple of years. So if you don't have a relatively new car and want CarPlay, this is something you should in fact, I learned some things here, because it looks like there are several options out there that Crutchfield sells that will give me wireless CarPlay. Now, will they have the same issues that Dave and I've been experiencing? I don't know, but they look darned affordable. I'll tell you that.
Well, so what happens when you buy one of these CarPlay replacement head units? The Bluetooth that you're getting is not the car Bluetooth; it's the Bluetooth in the unit, which is going to be a much better chip and radio than the one that's in your car. Car manufacturers use the most absolute garbage Bluetooth hardware they can get a hold of.
2 cents cheaper than the nice one, and those are 2 important cents. So yeah.
Well, and Jeff, if that's the case, then maybe maybe it's my car's Bluetooth that is the issue.
If I were a betting man, I would bet that your car's Bluetooth is the issue. The Bluetooth, the microphone that's built into the car, both absolute garbage.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
I was just wondering if anybody had done their own, or I got this particular kind and the software on it's kind of weird, or anything, if anyone had any actual experience. So I know the plural of anecdote is not data. I always feel like I have to jump in and add that disclaimer. But if there was something that someone had a really good or really bad experience with, I'd like to know and be able to, because what is going to happen is I'm going to go talk to like a professional place that does it and go, okay, like I kind of want to look at this brand and that brand and see, what fits in the car and what kind of ordeal I'm in for by upgrading. So that was it.
Yeah. Well,
Brittany, what were you going to say?
Oh, yeah, Britt, do you have?
I was going to say, I'm telling you, single AirPod.
Single AirPod.
Well, it does have less road noise than yours. We know that.
It's hard not to.
As long as it's legal in your state. I mean, that's the other thing. We don't want to advocate something that's going to get you
one
pulled
is
over.
legal in most states, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's not both. She's not driving around.
Or go with HomePod.
On the freeway, I absolutely am. Like, I can't hear otherwise. But they also don't block my hearing. So it is safe. I do not know what my state's laws are.
About anything.
Guy, I like the idea of duct
though.
taping HomePods in your car.
Yes.
I think that's a good call.
Cannot detect Wi-Fi. Please connect to Wi-Fi.
Well, now we just need to build a Wi-Fi network into your car.
I'm so glad that I have that's recorded, Brittany, because I will now use that as a warning message or something.
For a nominal monthly fee, Chuck will not put that out as part of the show.
Yeah, I like that. Let's go around the room, let folks know where they can find you, and then everybody can go shop for their whatever modifications they're going to do to their car. Let's see. Let's go from the bottom up again, although it's been juggled back and forth, so it's all out of order. But so that gives Guy Serle the first out.
Oh,
Guy, thanks for being here. Where can folks follow your adventures?
In Northern Virginia. No, I'm kidding. I am on the Twitters that everybody hates now, MacParrot and VertShark. VertShark.com is the website that hasn't been updated in a really long time. I do the My Mac podcast with Gaz every single week, as well as Guy's Daily Drive, where I sit in my car and go to work and record the experience for all the world to see. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Guy. Good to see you.
No,
It was a very morning zoo voice of you there, Guy.
It is. Yeah. Hey, I used to listen to FM radio there in the 70s. The weather today.
Where did that ever come from? Yeah.
Oh, there were just so many weird FM DJs. It was almost a standard back then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember them. Yeah.
Well, if anybody here would, Chuck, it would be you.
Yeah. Thank you, Guy.
We're about the same age, is what I'm saying.
Ah, okay.
Mostly.
I think Guy's about to leave whether he wants to or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, hey, where's Guy?
Been great having you on the show, Guy.
If I didn't need him for the experiment, maybe so.
Gone.
Brittany Smith, just again, she's shaking her head from the moment she arrived on this show till right now. It's like, why am I here?
You think it's just here, but like at home, it's constant, nonstop puns. So it's actually just like, at a certain point, my head will just twitch that way. Like, oh. My eyes will get permanently stuck, rolled up. It's a hazard.
Muscle memory. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Britt, where can folks find you?
On Twitter, if you're there and if I'm there, it's ADD Liberator. And on YouTube, it is also ADD Liberator. That one seems less fraught at the moment. So yeah, go there.
Great. Thanks so much.
Stay unfraught.
I thought about singing happy birthday to Kelly, but I see no reason to ruin her upcoming birthday. So I'm just going to say happy birthday, Kelly.
Have you ever met Kelly? She would love a bunch of off-key people singing to her.
It would be kind of awesome. I'm not going to lie.
Well, yeah, but I don't think the world's ready for it.
Yeah.
Kelly,
wait for After Dark.
Okay, well, maybe After Dark we'll talk about it. No, not really. Kelly, where can folks find you?
Eating cake. You can find me while it's there. You can find me on Twitter as Verso. If you've moved to another platform, I am probably Verso there as well. On Mastodon, I am Verso at mastodon.social, the all spelled out one, not the one with no vowels. Yeah, you can sometimes find me on this show over at The Incomparable, where we had a lovely conversation about Weird, the Al Yankovic story. So you can go check out thoughts on that. And sometimes you can find me on In Touch with iOS, Touching iOS, something like that, hosted by Dave somebody. I'm there every once in a while as well.
Touching iOS. Okay. Thank you, Kelly.
With a glove on.
This has been this has been one weird night. Is it a full moon? Does anybody know? Oh, Jim Ray, thank you very much.
Last week was the full moon.
Yeah, well, it carried over. Believe me,
with an eclipse and everything.
Yep, blood moon.
Oh, that's
too.
right. There was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Last one till 2025. Hey, SLS is launching in a couple hours.
Maybe.
Don't get distracted.
Don't get cocky.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Where can
And
folks
also
find
with you,
Jim?
I don't know what that means.
I'm not. It's out of control as usual. Jim, where can folks find you?
You can find me at provue.com, PROVUE. And you can still find me on Twitter. What am I? At ProView Jim. That's it. Yep. Still seems to be working, and I'm still going there for now.
Okay. Never mind. No, I'm going to stop. Jeff Gamet, thank you so much for being here. What's the best way for folks to connect with you?
I have no idea anymore. The internet is basically burning down.
You can find Jeff at 321underpants.com.
I really need to set up a website for that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep saying
I think it should have a .underpants domain. That's what you need.
How is that even a thing?
321under.pants.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Under.pants. There you go.
So apparently I have a new domain I need to buy. I'm Jay Gamet on like all the socials. So Twitter, while it's still here, Instagram,
Hover.
Mastodon.social. And like Kelly, not the one that's without the vowels, the one that has all the vowels. And then here with you on Tuesdays, Thursdays with Dave on In Touch with iOS, Thursdays on The Big Show, Fridays on The Mac Show, and The Context Machine with Brian Chaffin. And that's probably enough for now.
Thank you, Jeff. And I did check for your URL. It's only, $14.99.
It's on sale.
Merry Christmas, Jeff.
There you go. Last but absolutely not least, Mr. David Ginsburg, who touches iOS. David, thank you for being here. Where can folks find you?
Yes, you can find me at In Touch with iOS at intouchwithios.com. The YouTube channel, youtube.com/intouchwithios. I'm here on Tuesdays. I'm on the Mac Show on Fridays. And then on Mastodon, I'm Dave G65 at mastodon.cloud. And I am on Twitter still at DaveG65 and at In Touch with iOS.
Thank you, David. And thanks for including the Mastodon link. That's a nice touch and a good point. Folks, this is Mac Voices Live. This is Tuesday night. We do this every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Hard as that is to believe. We'd
Whether
love to
you
have
want
you
it or
join
not.
us. Yeah, really. YouTube.com/MacVoices TV is where you would do that. And that's it. Until next week, thank you so much for being here. And thanks to the chat room. We'll see you next time. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page and get more out of your Apple tech with Mac Voices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.